important. Yesterday was a mind-blowing fucking day in terms of corruption scandal, which was one of the biggest ones we had in the last, I don't know, probably in the last 3.5 years. I mean, it is a very serious stuff that is connected to our energy infrastructure, to our, or to the absence of the defense, the proper defense on those objects because of corruption. Yes. We got to Ukrainian corruption. It all began yesterday in the morning with the reports actually from NABU itself. So let me read for you the translation of their news that had these photos of dollars, these photos, and these photos. Yep. So this was found during one of the searches. And what did they post? They posted this. NABU and SAPO are conducting a large-scale operation to expose corruption in the energy sector. 15 months of work and 1,000 hours of audio recordings. The activities of a high-level criminal organization have been documented. Its members constructed a massive corruption scheme influencing strategic state sector enterprises, particularly Energoatom, which is the Ukrainian big energy company, which is taking care of many electrical power plants. Details to follow. Let's go to the YouTube channel of NABU and SAPO. Actually, NABU, it's NABU's YouTube channel. Yes, official YouTube channel of our National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine. They posted this first. This was 1 minute 51 minute video. Sorry. Yeah, 1 minute 51 second video. Let me start it for you.
НАБУ і САП проводять операцію «Мідас». 15 місяців роботи.
NABU and SAPO are conducting the operation called Midas. 15 months of work, over 70 searches involving all the detectives of the National Bureau, thousands of hours of audio recordings. A high-level criminal organization in the energy and defense sectors has been exposed. Corruption in the energy sector, money laundering, illicit enrichment. Details later. They played this. Yeah, so they played the footages of Russian strikes on Ukrainian energy infrastructure, and it is just it is just so fucking ugly when people who were supposed to build the fortifications are doing corruption there and actually trying to save some money, not building the infrastructure, save for themselves, for their own pockets. They were, oh my God, guys, the details, you will just listen to the details. I translated all of it for you. So, because they actually released 2 videos yesterday, or 3 of them, I guess. 3 videos with these proofs, and 2 today. Yeah, 2 yesterday, 2 today. And I want to read at least the description of those videos. I listened to 2 of the videos, and fuck, they are ugly. You know, those people are ugly. Those people and what they do are ugly, and their conversations are ugly. You know, basically criminals. Who will sell their country with great pleasure for money, for money that were supposed to go to our defense. Mm-hmm. So in this video had such explanation, such text in the Telegram channel. Operation to expose corruption in the energy sector. The scheme. The main activity of the criminal organization was the systematic collection of kickbacks from Energoatom's contractors, ranging from 10% to 15% of contract value. Contractors were pressured to pay these bribes, known as the barrier, Schlagbaum, the German word we use for the barrier. To avoid blocked payments, the barrier on the road, you know? You probably know what I'm talking about. Okay. To avoid blocked payments for delivered goods and services, or to keep their supplier status. To carry out the scheme, the head of the criminal group enlisted a former deputy head of the State Property Fund, who later became an advisor to the Minister of Energy, as well as a former law enforcement officer who served as executive director for physical protection and security at the company. Using their official connections within the ministry and the state enterprise, they gained control over personnel decisions, procurement processes, and financial flows. In reality, management of this strategic enterprise, which generates over 200 billion annually, 200 billion hryvnias annually, was conducted not by formal officials, but by outside individuals who held no official authority, yet acted as overseers of the system. Just fucking imagine. The biggest state energy company was run by not formal officials, but by outside individuals who held no official authority, yet acted as overseers of the system. Operation to expose corruption in the energy sector. Part 2, money laundering. The money laundering function for the illegally obtained funds was carried out by a dedicated office of the criminal organization located in central Kyiv. The premises belonged to the family of former Ukrainian MP and current Russian Senator Andriy Derkach, who is already charged by NABU and SAPO in a separate criminal case. Guys, just listen to it. The premises belonged to the family of former Ukrainian MP and current Russian Senator Andriy Derkach, who is already charged by NABU and SAPO in a separate criminal course. Through this office, the group maintained strict accounting of received funds, kept black ledgers, and organized money laundering via a network of non-resident companies. A significant portion of operations, including cash payouts, took place outside Ukraine. For providing these services to individuals outside the criminal organization, the office charged a percentage-based fee from the amounts laundered. In total, around 100 million USD passed through so-called laundromat. So Carlson is actually a person who they call Timur Mindich. So this man, you probably have seen some information about him in the last half a year, because after the attack on NABU and SAPO, there were rumors that it was done because NABU and SAPO investigated him, and he's a close friend of Yermak and Zelensky, and that they attacked NABU and SAPO because they were investigating their close friend. So this Timur Mindich, remember this face, guys. He left Ukraine yesterday. It's an unofficial information, but there is an information, the unofficial one, that one of the SAPO employees received an official suspicion from his colleagues, as he might have been the one who leaked the information to Mindich, so he can leave the country before they come to arrest him. So Mindich was let to leave the country, was let to fled yesterday. And he seems to be the boss in this case, or one of two bosses. Here's Carlson. So everyone right now claim that it's him. It's this Timur Mindic. And actually, I saw other photos of his, and he is bald on those photos. So it seems like it's his blurred photo. It's very like him. I mean, this one looks very much like him. So his call sign was Carlson. And Carlson, if you don't know, is a cartoon. It is a... Oh my God. It is a cartoon of Soviet Union. There was this dude with propeller who could fly. His name was Carlson. And this one, since he fled the country already, might be a pretty appropriate one for him. So let me read the description for you. Operation Midas, Carlson. During Operation Midas, NABU and SAPO detectives identified the leader of the criminal organization, Carlson. So he is the leader of this organization. He personally oversaw the operations of the so-called laundromat, well, laundering station, where illegally obtained funds were laundered. From this apartment on the upper floors, from his apartment on the upper floors of a building on Hrushevskoho Street in Kyiv, Carlson decided who would receive and how much cash, and coordinated influence over top government officials to resolve issues in his own interest, particularly in the energy and defense sectors. In conversations recorded by detectives, Carlson can be heard managing financial flows, discussing fake employment schemes used to cover for trusted associates, giving instructions on security measures, and showing awareness of NABU's potential surveillance. NABU and SAPO documented how members of the criminal organization transferred money to a former deputy prime minister of Ukraine who was referred to internally as Che Guevara. So they called, his code name was Che Guevara. And actually, everyone right now claimed that it's His Majesty Chernyshov. Let me find his face. Give me a second. It should be here. This dude. I don't know if you have seen, but he's already been in a few scandals in Ukrainian press. And this dude, I don't remember his name, but we will get to him a bit later because he's planned in the news to basically talk about him. But Che Guevara it seems to be this dude, and his last name is Chernyshov. So Che Guevara, Chernyshov, they look alike. So it's not a coincidence. In total, investigators recorded the transfer of 1.2 million US dollars and nearly 100,000 euros in cash, delivered either directly at the organization's office or in a medical clinic owned by one of its members. The final payment, $500,000, was handed over to Che Guevara's wife after he himself had already become a suspect of NABU and SAPO in corruption-related crimes. Next thing I need to show you is what was found in the office of one of the... NABU also showed this. It was a post of NABU showing this thing. This book says... Just listen to the description. During a search of the office of one of the co-organizers of the corruption scheme in the energy sector, NABU and SAPO discovered an interesting artifact. Okay, so they didn't translate it. I will translate it for you. The signature at the bottom says, the security service of the President of the Russian Federation. The security service of the President of the Russian Federation. That's who we fucking have managing our country. Some of them, not all of them, but some of the motherfuckers who were involved in this scheme, they had this. Here's the article on the Radio Freedom. On the Radio Freedom news site. It's not a big news, so let me translate it for you. The National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, as part of the corruption case in the energy sector, Operation Midas, has officially charged 7 individuals. While NABU did not disclose the names, journalists from Schemes, Schemes is a part of Radio Liberty, managed to identify those involved. According to law enforcement sources, the suspects are businessman and Kvartal 95 co-founder Timur Mindic, once again this guy that you see on the screen, codename Carlson in NABU recordings. He is the Carlson. He is the head of the organization. And here's the photo of everyone else. So Timur Mindic, this guy. Next one, former advisor to the Minister of Energy Ihor Mironyuk, Racket. So here's the rocket, not racket, or rocket, this one was called. Ihor Mironyuk, so this at the center. Next one, tenor, Dmitro Basov, this schmug. This is tenor. He is executive director of security at Energoatom, and 4 members of the so-called bank office for money laundering. Alexander Zuckerman, Sugarman. Zuckerman is actually is translated like Zuckerman. Sugarman. So Alexander Zuckerman, this face to the bottom left. Next one. Give me a second. Ihor Fursenko, Ryoshik, Ihor Fursenko, this dude. His name, his call sign was Ryoshik. Lesia Ustimenko and Людмила Зорина. Людмила Зорина, Lesia Ustimenko. They were also employees of that laundering center, if I'm not mistaken. Людмила Зорина, Lesia Ustimenko. They walk among us in Kyiv. I may stumble across them not probably on the street, because they don't really work on the street. They drive around in very expensive Mercedes, Maybachs, Porsches, Jaguars, and Lexuses. And I stumble across them on the road most of the times. But since I drive a lot, that happens pretty often, I guess. Next. The end of this news translation is this. NABU describes Ryoshik, this guy, as the accountant of the bank office. He was recorded saying that carrying a box of cash is not exactly a pleasure. Ihor Fursenko is registered as a private entrepreneur. Ihor Fursenko, this one. Specializing in IT consulting. His number appears in others' contracts as Ihor, employee of Mikhailo Zuckerman. This Zuckerman, this dude. MP Yaroslav Zhelezniak wrote that the Zuckerman brothers handled the financial side of Timur Mindic. Lesia Ustimenko, this woman, appears in contacts as Lesia Kyiv brothers financer. She is a private entrepreneur whose main business activity is market research and public opinion analysis. In 2023, Ustimenko purchased a parking space in the central Kyiv building where, according to Schemes, the back office mentioned in the NABU investigation is located. Her husband is reportedly a citizen of Russia who regularly traveled there until 2015 when he obtained a Ukrainian passport. Fantastic. Next news is the reaction. It's not the news, it's actually a post of Yuri Hudymenko, who is the Ukrainian veteran politician who I actually trust, who is not the usual one, who lost the ability to use his right arm because of the injury he got on the front line back in 2022, and his right leg is also not completely functioning. I have his book, who he signed, and I met him on that book presentation. I had a chance to shake his hand, thank him for his service, and make a photo with him. I don't remember where the hell that photo is, but that man is fucking based. And just listen to what he said. in his 2 posts. First post, an important note. If all institutions in this country worked normally, not perfectly, not even well, just normally, we'd already be analyzing, first, how Mindic's schemes operated. Second, how money was siphoned from domestic accounts. Third, how money was moved abroad. Fourth, which officials took bribes to make decisions. Important. 5, where the hell are they? He said, actually, where the fuck are they? How to ensure their successors can't make the same decisions, or at least make corruption much harder. That was 6. 7th, which tools to use for that? Legal changes, internal rule changes, more transparency, more accountability, not the same thing. Deregulation, or conversely, regulation, digitalization, and so on. We're pretty good at catching corrupt officials, he summarizes. We're bad at fighting corruption itself. So Carlson will get caught sooner or later, but how do we make sure some Mowgli doesn't just pop up in his place? So yeah, guys, we have a huge problems with the strategy. We don't have any anti-corruption strategy. We just catch the corrupt people, but we don't do anything as a state to prevent those people from appearing, from having the possibility to do what they do, to, you know, organize all those fucking schemes and criminal activities. And that's a very good point from Yuri Hudimenko. There he is, Yuri Hudimenko, who sacrificed the ability to use his right hand and right leg properly, because right hand is not like functional at all, and he can walk with a cane, I guess, but yeah, he did it for Ukraine. That's a true patriot of Ukraine, who's actually very good. And do you know who he is right now? Guys, he is the head of the supervising council, the civilian supervising council to Ministry of Defense. So he is actually, as a leader of the civilian sector, supervising the work in Ministry of Defense. And this dude, I'm following his social media, his Telegram in particular, where I follow, you know, and also the Ministry of Defense Civil Council, Council's work. I also follow that. Well, he's reporting on that. This dude is really, you know, doing good job and doing a lot of job for Ukraine. So this man is someone, like, if you hear of Yuri Hudimenko, you gotta know that this is the guy who you should listen to. That's my opinion. Of course, you can get to your own opinion, to your own conclusions. So he said, Yuri Hudimenko said one more thing. He posted this thing yesterday. He said, right now, I don't see any other option for Zelensky but to praise NABU and SAPO publicly and show international partners that this is what fighting corruption looks like, when you can wiretap and search even the president's friends. In theory, such a stance could even benefit Ukraine internationally. The idea being that what matters isn't the mistake, but how you respond to it. Very wise words. Unfortunately, I believe it will go to the opposite way. Sorry, not to, but the opposite way. Sooner or later, there will be a new attack on NABU and SAPO, even more senseless and damaging to the country. These institutions aren't perfect. There's still a lot of work to be done, at the very least regarding information leaks. But as current events show, they are essential. Thank you to everyone who once took to the streets, with cardboard signs or without. If not for you, Carlson would still be living on the roof today. So that was an Easter egg in the end to the Carlson cartoon, the Soviet Carlson cartoon. In the end, so yeah, guys, he thanked us, the cardboard people, who were protesting in summer to reverse the elimination of the NABU and SAPO independence. So I was humbled to see thanks from the leader, real Ukrainian veteran / politician leader. So yesterday, Zelensky actually reacted in his video on this case, and he said he didn't call any names, which was probably smart, because president should not call the names of the corrupt people who are receiving those official suspicions. So, but anyway, he said, like, I'm for all the good against all the bad. So he didn't say shit in that video. Let's see what he's gonna say today in his daily address today. Okay, next. Next news is unfortunately this. This is also connected to NABU and SAPO's investigations, and this is actually a countermeasure of the Office of the President of Ukraine. That's what they do. And Sternenko is the one provided this news. He was the one posting this screenshot and saying next. Let me actually make sure it was Sternenko. Once again, I'll check if he was the one posting this. Oh, yeah, it was him. It was him. He posted this and said, do you know what these news say, guys? These news say this, mostly in Russian, but there is also Ukrainian, that Skabeyeva is celebrating. Russians are already, oh my God, preparing to give the state awards to NABU. So they basically try to present. So the office of the president is trying to present the NABU and SAPO accomplices of Russia, like when they're investigating corruption in Ukraine, and top officials of Ukraine, they want to kind of do this cheap bullshit move. Just, yeah, so they are pushing, they are paying money to Telegram channels owners for them to post these news. And yeah, this is how Sternenko reacts on it. He says next, a very poor, misguided information strategy. Buying this kind of paid propaganda, it is called jinsa in Ukrainian, this cheap propaganda that was paid for. So just like cheap, on demand, or like when, you know, office of the president is paying the news telegrams channels to post the news, the same news. Look at this, guys. All these telegram channels post the same shit that was paid for. So this is a poor and misguided information strategy. Such denials will inevitably deepen conflict and confrontation within the country. By the way, why has Halushenko gone silent? Yeah, this is actually the Ukrainian top official. Remember, the vice prime minister who received the summons. He went completely silent. He's still the minister. He was the Minister of Energy, and they just transferred him from Minister of Energy around a year ago to the Minister of, how do you call that? Justitia, like judiciary system. Yeah, so he was just moved from one minister position to another. And by the way, why Halushenko gone silent? From the standpoint of state interests, it would now be wiser for him to resign voluntarily. Instead, we're seeing more planted articles, said. Yeah, that's the end of quote by Sternenko. Okay. Some good news. SAPO, you won't believe it, but SAPO did this. 44 million from plea agreements transferred to the Sternenko Foundation. So plea agreements that SAPO is basically signing with the prosecuted corrupt people. The money from those pleas, they went, 44 million hryvnias went to Sternenko's fund 2 days ago. It is fantastic. Yesterday he posted this news in his private Telegram channel that you can access by subscribing to his base. And today SAPO officially announced this. As a result of plea agreements concluded in SAPO and NABU cases and approved by the High Anti-Corruption Court, 44 million has been transferred to the Sternenko Community Foundation to purchase FPV drones for the Ukrainian armed forces. This represents one of the significant contributions to strengthening the defensive capabilities of Ukrainian units, helping them carry out key combat missions more effectively on the path to victory. In total, over the past 3 years, prosecutors of SAPO have directed around 2.9 billion to Ukraine's defense forces through similar plea agreements. Guys, 2.9 billion hryvnias in the past 3 years was contributed by SAPO. And who the fuck in this case is the honest side, huh? If, you know, the office of the president is trying to convince our society or population, I think they are aiming for population, not for society. So if they want to convince our population that NABU and SAPO are working for Russia, there are some strong arguments against that. In total, over the past 3 years, prosecutors of SAPO have directed around 2.5 billion to Ukraine's defense forces through similar plea agreements, a result of their systematic efforts to recover damages to the state and channel funds toward the most critical wartime needs. As Yuri Hudymenko said, they are not perfect organizations. There are a lot of questions to them still, especially about the leaks of information, but there is still a very important thing that they do.